Hello everyone and welcome to Rodan Man's Reviews. So today we're taking a look at the Storm Collectibles DC Injustice Lobo. So let's go ahead and take a look at him. So I don't have him on the stand because he's a pretty big figure, so I just wanted to go ahead and dive right into it because there's a lot to unpack with Lobo, the Storm Collectibles Lobo. So let's get into, first of all, his articulation. So he does have the 90-degree arms out. He's got the bicep swivel, right, on both arms. We can see it there. All right. He's got the arm swivel, or the wrist swivel for both hands. He's got a double joint on his arms, but I don't know if you can see that there. He's actually, it's harder for him to bend it too far because it's just the limbs are very thick. He's got an ab crunch forward. He's got an ab crunch back. He can spin around and do the Macarena. And he's got also the double joint at the knees, but it's the same thing with the knees as it is with the arms. In that there's the double joint, but it's hard for him the legs to go too far back, just because of the thickness of the limbs. His feet will point down, as you can see, right? They won't point up so much because of the boots, the way the boots are made. But what we do get also a hinge right here at the toes, if you can see that. He's got, as far as his, and also he's got this butterfly joint here at the arm. So the arms can go back quite a bit. So the arms go back, and then you can see his head. His head, he can look down, as you can see, but he suffers from the same malady that a lot of figures with long hair suffer, in that his head, he can't really look up so well. So that's taking a look at the articulation. Overall, very happy with the articulation on this figure. As far as the paint apps and the sculpt, I'll get in here a little bit for you guys. I really like the sculpt on this figure. I really like how they've done. Like, we've got the jacket, right? We've got the bandolier with the bullets. He's got a little silver skull and crossbones thing here, some silver stuff going on. There's a pocket on his jacket. He's got these two pockets at his belt, and then the Motorhead looking belt buckle. He's got like a little pouch on his side here, or a couple of pouches, excuse me. He's got a hoop on his back. There's a chain. Of course, there's Lobo's butt, the back of his boots. So we've got quite a bit to look at here as far as he's got this wristband thing. It's like spiked. This will actually come off, and we'll get to that in just a minute as well. So overall, there's quite a bit, and if you look at his face, I mean, there's extra heads, there's extra hair, and there's extra hands that we'll take a look at as well. So I'm going to go ahead and set him back down again. As you can see, he does have the chain. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of his hand here. And I'm also just going to remove his hand. So, as I said, you do get some extra accessories with him, hands being among them, right? So, one of the first accessories, and I'll pop this hand back on here so we can just take a look at some of the accessories first. Some of the other accessories. So we've got the hook, right? There's a chain. It's almost got this, I don't want to see, you guys can see it. It's like a clasp, almost like a necklace. And this part was actually separate from the rest of this chain. So you've got all of this, right? And you've got this little hoop here. This hoop actually goes around, if we pull them off, it goes around the wrist here. Right? And then what you can do is just like I had him before. You know, you pop the hand back on, and then what you can do is just take the chain and kind of wrap it around his wrist, like that, on his forearm, and then he just holds the thing in his hand. So that's what we've got with that. I'm going to go ahead and remove the chain, guys. We kind of have seen that, right? So we know how that works. Lobo also comes with this sawed-off shotgun, right? Get in there so you guys can take it. It's a cool looking little shotgun. Pretty neat, double barrel. So that he can put in his, this is the hand that I have on right now, is the trigger hand, and if, as you can see, the finger goes right through where the trigger would be. So that's really cool, and it stays in there well as well. I mean, you can shake it, it's not coming out. So he's got that. Oh, and then also for the shotgun, he's got this little, the hoop in the back, where he can just put that in there, right? So he's got like a little holster for the gun, kind of little hoop holster thing going on. So we'll go ahead and take that out. Now I will show you guys some of the other accessories. So like I said, there are some extra heads that he comes with, so, and extra hair pieces as well. So taking a look at it, he's got this hair. This is kind of like a serious face, I guess you could say, right? So he's got that. And the way the hair kind of fits on the head, you can see there's like this little indentation there, and then there's this. You just kind of pop it on, pop it up through there, and voila, you've got his head. He also has, in addition to that head, he's got this one, which is kind of the same as the head that he has on, that I have on the figure right now. The only difference is being this one has the cigar, this one does not have the cigar. And it's, again, another little hair piece for him. He's got actually a couple of these, both of these hair pieces are kind of the same, you know? So they're pretty much the same. And then he's got this one that's kind of the same as the one that I have on. And you can pop this onto any of the heads, right? So let's go ahead. I'll pull his head off and let you guys see. And then, okay, so we've got a little joint here. So that's what we're looking at as far as his, you know, the attachment for the head. I'll go ahead and put on one of these other heads here. So let me fumble around with this a little bit, and then pop it on the little ball joint there. So there you go. So that's what we're looking at as far as the extra heads, right? We also, as mentioned earlier, we also get some extra hands. So let's get into those. So we get actually 4 sets of hands, right? So he's right now on this hand, he's got a trigger hand. He actually has a trigger hand for both hands. So left hand, right hand, if you wanted to put the gun in either hand or the hook on either hand, you can do so. So there he is with the trigger hands on for either side. We'll go ahead and pop those off. Right. Then he's got these, he's got a couple of these grasping hands, which is what I had on him for the hook earlier. Oh, and also, well, as mentioned before, if you don't want the wristband on the left hand, you know, you could switch it over to the right hand, however you want to do it. So, oops, of course it would fall. All right, there we go. So like I said, we've got the grasping hand. So there's a grasping hand here and another grasping hand here. So however you want to do that, right? Then we've got a couple of fist hands, right? So we can put the fist hands, let me get it right here. So we can put the fist hands on both of the hands. So there we go. One fist hand on both of the hands. And then lastly, we have this hand up. There goes the wristband again. So lastly, we have this band, or this hand that's a kind of like a, I mean, you could, I guess, use it as the, it's kind of reminiscent of the trigger hands, you know? It's like a semi-grasping, semi-trigger hand, semi-open hand type of thing, right? And then what you can do, he actually comes with this very small thing, which you guessed it, is a cigar. So you can actually put that in his hand, right? So now Lobo has a cigar in his hand. So that's a very small accessory that comes with him. If you want to put it in there in his hand, you can. So you get, again, like I say, you get quite a bit with Lobo. Like I said, there's a lot to unpack with him. Several heads. You know, this just happened to be my favorite of the heads, and I like this hairpiece a little bit more than the one that's on him right now. So in fact, let me go ahead and pop that off and pop this one back on. Right. I really like this figure overall, guys. I'd say if you could get this figure, definitely pick him up. I've always been a Lobo fan. You know, if you're a big Lobo fan like me, definitely go ahead and pick this figure up. I think there's a lot of good with this figure. A lot of good. The articulation's really good. The amount of accessories that you get with the figure is kind of overwhelming. Even down to a cigar, a shotgun, different hair, his famous chain, you know, hook and chain. So as far as size, guys, I'll go ahead and compare him up with some of the other figures that we have here. So here, some of the ones I've reviewed in the past. So Lobo stands at about, he's about 8.5 inches tall, right? So that's where he's at height-wise. Here he is against the Articulated Icons Basic Ninja in purple. So you can see he towers quite a bit above our Basic Ninja. Here he is next to the DC Multiverse, the McFarlane DC Multiverse Superman. And again, towers quite a bit over Supes here. So he's pretty big, pretty tall. And then lastly, here he is against the Marvel Legends Red Hulk, the Target exclusive one. He's the exact same size, really, as the Marvel Legends Red Hulk. So if you have the Marvel Legends Red Hulk, you know exactly how tall Lobo is, because they're both right at about 8.5 inches each. I think maybe Lobo might be a little bit taller with the hair. I don't know. It's a tough call. But so that's what you get with Lobo. And also you get, as well, there's this really cool, go ahead and move this out of the way. There's this really cool, you know, collector's box that you get with them. You know, kind of shows all the different accessories that you get on the back, the different heads, the different hair pieces, the cigar, the hands, the gun, the chain with the hook, everything like that. And then, yeah. So Storm Collectibles, DC Injustice, Lobo, highly recommended if you can pick them up, if you can get them. I definitely recommend this figure, especially if you're a big Lobo fan like me. There's a lot of detail to the sculpt. Paint apps are awesome. Articulation's really good. Accessories are really, you get a lot of accessories with them as well. So as always, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, and I'll see you everybody next video.